The US government just forced Anthropic to shut down its most powerful AI model overnight. Not a bug, not a company decision, an actual government order. Millions of users lost access instantly. 3 weeks later, it's back. And right in the middle of all that chaos, a completely different model quietly became one of the best deals in AI. This is the full story of Claude Fable 5 and Claude Sonnet 5. And trust me, it's messier than you think. Let's rewind to June 9th, 2026. Anthropic releases Claude Fable 5, their most capable public model ever. State-of-the-art on nearly every benchmark that exists. Software engineering, vision, science, knowledge work, all of it. The proof was almost unbelievable. At Stripe, Fable 5 took a 50 million line codebase and completed a full migration in a single day. Something that would have taken an entire engineering team over 2 months by hand. Alongside it, Anthropic quietly released a second version called Mythos 5. Same core model but with fewer restrictions, given only to a small group of trusted cybersecurity partners working with the US government. Everything looked like a clean, successful launch. On June 12th, just 3 days after launch, the US government sent Anthropic a letter at 5:21 p.m. citing national security concerns. The order was blunt. Suspend all access to Fable 5 and Mythos 5 immediately for every user, everywhere. Why? The government had learned about a method to bypass Fable 5's safety filters, what's called a jailbreak. Someone had prompted the model in a specific way and gotten it to identify software vulnerabilities, and in one case, produce code showing how to exploit one of them. Here's the part that makes this story wild. Anthropic pushed back publicly and hard. They said they tested the exact same technique on other models already available to the public, including Opus 4.8 GPT 5.5 and Kimi K 2.7. Every single one of them could produce the same result. This wasn't some secret unique danger in Fable 5. It was something basically every major AI model could already do. Anthropic straight up said in a public statement, quote, "We disagree that the finding of a narrow potential jailbreak should be cause for recalling a commercial model deployed to hundreds of millions of people." But the order was legally binding, so Fable 5 and Mythos 5 went dark for everyone. Now here's where the timing gets almost too perfect. On June 30th, while Fable 5 was still suspended, Anthropic released Claude Sonnet 5. A mid-tier model, cheaper and smaller than Fable 5, but built specifically to close the gap with their top models. The numbers were genuinely impressive. On agentic coding tests, Sonnet 5 scored 63.2%, closing in on Opus 4.8, quote, S69.2%. On one knowledge work benchmark, Sonnet 5 actually beat Opus 4.8. Outright 1,618 to 1,615. And the price was 5 times cheaper than Fable 5. $2 per million input tokens compared to Fable's $10. Then, on June 30th, the export controls got lifted. Anthropic announced Fable 5 would return to everyone globally starting July 1st. But it didn't come back exactly the same. Anthropic used those 3 weeks to build a new, stronger safety classifier, specifically targeting the jailbreak technique that caused the shutdown. They claim it now blocks that specific method in over 99% of cases. There's a trade-off, though. The new classifier is stricter, which means it now flags more harmless coding and debugging requests than before. Anthropic openly admits this. Better safety, but a slightly more annoying user experience if you get incorrectly blocked. They also announced something bigger long-term. Working with the US government, plus Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, Anthropic is now building a shared industry framework for judging how serious an AI jailbreak actually is. Basically, this whole incident triggered the creation of a new safety standard across the entire AI industry. Alright, now that Fable 5 is back, let's compare it to Sonnet 5 properly. Raw power. Fable 5 wins clearly. It's still the most capable public model Anthropic has ever made. Price, Sonnet 5 wins by a mile, roughly 5 times cheaper across the board. Reliability of access. This is now a wash. Both are available, though Fable 5 just proved it can vanish overnight if regulators get involved again. Best for heavy technical work. If you need maximum capability and don't mind paying more, Fable 5 is the better tool, especially for huge codebases or research-heavy tasks. Best for daily use. Sonnet 5 still wins here. It finishes multi-step tasks in one pass, it's cheap enough to use constantly, and it doesn't come with the same regulatory spotlight sitting on top of it. Here's what this whole saga actually tells us. We just watched a government shut down a commercial AI product overnight because of a security concern that, by Anthropic's own testing, existed in nearly every competing model too. That's not a small thing. That's a preview of how AI regulation is going to work going forward, messy, fast, and sometimes applied unevenly. Fable 5 didn't get pulled because it was uniquely dangerous. It got pulled because it was the biggest, most visible target at the exact wrong moment. So Fable 5 is back, Sonnet 5 is thriving, and the AI industry just got its first real taste of what happens when governments start pulling models offline overnight. Oh, and someone caught Fable's raw, unfiltered inner monologue leaking, and it's just grumbling to itself nonstop like an old man complaining about the weather. This just shows how far AI has evolved. If you want to keep tracking this story as the new industry safety framework develops, check the links in the description. Let me know in the comments which model you're actually using day to day. See you in the next video.